Howdy, y'all. This is Soraya, the queen of healthy Latin cooking. Welcome to Soraya Sobridas. Here's cooking show. Let's catch up by a little view. Well, first, my hair. It's a natural. This is also the first time since my surgery that I've really done my makeup the way I usually do my makeup. So I'm able to lift my arms better now. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit of post-op news and then a main topic that I find very interesting. So let's take a look, right? Look at that. Look at that. May 5th was my surgery, and this one had to do a revision May 19th. And look at them. They're bouncing back. They're bouncing back. I'm very happy about that. It feels so freeing to be a natural breast. I don't have any bra on except for this sports bra, right? They don't hang too low. They're not too droopy. They're pretty equal, which is great. I'm really happy. So they're still healing. That's that part. And then I guess this will be sort of an extension of the Grindr dating stuff. So, but this is something, an awareness I want to talk about that will come up whether I'm dating on Grindr or not. As long as I leave myself open for dating, then I am open to learning more about myself and learning more about others. But okay, let's get to the point. So I'm meeting more guys. This is what I'm noticing. And this is something that I noticed before. Codependency. Now, what does that mean? Okay, this is the way I see it. Now, I met a really fabulous guy. On my Grindr video, I talked about him, that he was the last one to pay attention to my breasts right before surgery. We had an amazing date. We had great sex. And he paid really good attention to my breasts and the rest of my body. It was amazing. He comes from parents that are divorced. He comes from that. The father's way out of the picture. And you know what? What I've realized from the second date that we had just last week, Sam is the pseudo husband of his mom. And I am extremely familiar with that dynamic that moms play, that parents play with their children. When the relationship with the husband or wife is not that good and not as full and not as dynamic, not so much in common, or in the case of my friend, the parents are divorced, the father seems more out there with alcoholism or whatever it is, gambling addiction, sex addiction, whatever got him out of the picture, is still active. My friend has spoken poorly about his dad, but to me, my friend is going in the same direction, baby, of his dad. Whatever ism you want to attach, the same direction. And then what happens is Sam is the oldest and the son, and there's a younger son, and Sam is the dad. Sam is the pseudo husband and the pseudo father, right? Maybe mom's got a lot going on cash-wise or financially wise to support the pseudo husband, which should be maybe out on his own working. He says something to me about his mom. I said, at least be nice to your mom. Who knows what the conditions are that would warrant whether she deserves to be treated nicely. I hope she does, is doing the right thing. But it sounds complicated. And what made me see this and want to come to you and talk about codependency in the families like that is because I was being manipulated by my mother to be her pseudo husband. Yeah. And she really was very, very, very willing to financially keep that going, have some sort of dependency for me to be connected to her and dependent to her. And in turn, that she was going to take care of me. Whatever I wanted, I was going to get from her. As long as I play the part, fulfill what she needs, help keep the household together. Sam came over last Saturday, and I hadn't seen him in a while, and we got together. And at about 11:30 at night, he's getting a call from his mom. There's some urgent issue. And then his younger brother, there's an urgent issue. And he had to pop out of the bed and head back home. And I was livid. Yeah, but with a lot of control. And I didn't fly off the handle. He couldn't say it to me like, listen, I have to go. I have to leave. Something's going on with my brother, my mother. I got to go. He couldn't say it. So I was like, look, then why don't you head out? And I will not see him again. That was, to me, that you may not think so, but that was traumatic to me in the bed when that happens. It goes back to a lot of violence I saw growing up in the bed. My father pulling late night disruption. What Sam did was late night disruption for me. There was no safety. There was no boundary. I wasn't coming first. S is done. S is done. There's nothing he could do, he could say. The codependency just doesn't stop with a parent. Because I had another young man that I'm talking to, and he had roommates that were playing the role of family, and him not being able to set boundaries, and then him not being able to communicate with me. And I understand in our family dynamics or roommate dynamics, I play a people-pleasing role. I overextend myself because I want my roommates to like me. You know, I want to be needed by my roommates so they like me and everything is cohesive. I may extend myself to do more for my roommates than really I should be doing. And then in part, I'm neglecting parts of my life, the dating and whatever it is that I need to do for me. I always found that to be tricky. I never had roommate situations much. When I was trying to escape from my mom, I had a roommate. You know, it got funky and I came back to my mom's, but I kept trying to leave. And then finally I stayed out. That's my point. I stayed out. And with my friend Sam, he's not even working. His life is being subsidized by something, and it might be his family and his mom, which makes him, Sam, the pseudo husband, the pseudo father, which means, and I've had a lot of guys like the mom, the relatives, all of that drama, and they're like single, some of them with their own places, but still, even there's that codependent attachment that doesn't allow them to be a full-fledged single man that can openly date with no family codependent attachments. I think it's really clear, and I think clear for women too. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to go on gender and what my old school perspectives are about men. Men should be able to stand alone as soon as they can, have their own places, not have all this codependent entanglements with family and stuff that distracts them from their career and from their attainment of making union and relationship, if that's what they want, with another person. A man should be self-supporting through his own contributions as early as possible and to maintain that stability. Try to strike a balance of our relationships without allowing to get codependent when you get sucked up. You could be like dating someone that could be like a really good match for you, but yet because of the entanglements that a person may have with family or friends on a codependent level or roommates, it keeps that person from really making that connection. And I guess you're going to really have to want that connection. And I guess that you're going to have to really realize that you're going to need to stand alone and carry on with your life. A lot of people cannot stand alone, be independent, make their life work without a lot of entanglements with other people. The real aloneness, and I don't mean isolation, the real standing alone on your own 2 feet and making everything happen for yourself without getting too attached to others is really, really, really important. That's a sign of maturity, I think. I've learned. I don't know where I learned this from. I don't know where I learned at 24, 26. I had to break out of Alcatraz with my mom. It was like that. It was like a prison. I knew that if I didn't leave my mom's nest and if I didn't stop sucking her tit, that I was going to hurt her. She wanted that control, and it was painful for me to let her have that control. So I was going to really disrupt that family unit with my mom, either verbally or otherwise. And I'm so glad I saw the writing on the wall and I made my attempts. It took a couple of years to make that break. But when I made it and I learned to be my own person without a whole lot of shit going on, not a best friend, not a this, not a that, to like suck me up. No, believe me, I have one best friend. He knows who he is. I would do anything for him still. He used to be my ex. He still has the capacity that when he calls, I will pick up the phone no matter what, 95% of the time. No one else has that power. But I won't let him interfere with my shit. If there's somebody I'm dating, I'm not going to put my ex over him. I would want all of us to be friends. And I don't expect my ex, and he doesn't. He doesn't put me before anybody. That's for sure. He never was one to put me before anybody. But now he does. Now he does. As best friends. He does. He does. And then, I met this other guy, like with his roommates. Just a very fresh relationship. I just got to know him for a couple of days. And already his roommates had a huge impact where he was already saying sorry to me. I'm sorry, my roommates needed something and I needed to do that. And I'm like, oh, it's like that. It's like that. Okay. I mean, y'all may think, oh, well, Soraya, that's like, you're like one lonely ass bitch on your own, or just fending for yourself. Other people have other people around them. They have to play the game. No, you don't have to play the game, girl. No, I'm not going to be with somebody who's playing the game. There's another guy that I really like, and he likes me, but he's got a daughter, a 10-year-old daughter. There was another guy with a daughter, 8-year-old daughter. Like, how much time are they going to give me? That much, yo. I don't need that. I don't need that. There's a single man out there that's going to be willing to play it, be able to put the boundaries and put the time in to the relationship, the one-on-one, So that's what I have been noticing through my current dating scenarios, Grindr or otherwise. I hope this video was helpful. It makes you think a little bit about your life. And it makes me think a little bit more about my desire to be fully self-supporting through my own contributions, not allowing any person, place, or thing to really interfere with my career and my love life or dating life. To keep a good balance and not to get sucked in to people pleasing and not to stand too independent either, because I could be a very I don't want to depend on anybody. I want to do it my way when I want to do it. We all need people. People who need people are the most wonderfulest people in the world. Strangers meeting other strangers. Soraya's hoping they don't have some mommy and daddy entanglements. Neither that they have any children that they need to take care of that's gonna interfere with me getting to know you. As strangers, lovers are very special people. They're the most fucked up individuals on Grindr. So decipher and date very carefully, 'cause there's plenty of fish in the sea and beasts on Grindr that just want my trans SC. And they're the strangest MFers and people. My microphone. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming. Y'all take care now. Remember that trans mama always loves you, y'all. Do you first, baby. Do you, and break the chains that bind you. All right, y'all. Love you. See you later, alligator. Bye. Mwah, 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 mwah.